Welcome to our channel, everyone. I'm Joseph, and this is Mira. We're here to discuss the best books in a podcast style, share motivating stories, and bring you even more exciting content soon. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss out on our upcoming episodes. Now let's begin the podcast. All right, buckle up, everybody, because today we are going deep, and I mean deep, into the power of your subconscious mind.
That's right.
And to help us unlock the secrets of this hidden world, we're going to be taking a close look at Dr. Joseph Murphy's book, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind.
A classic.
Absolutely. Now, this book makes some pretty bold claims, suggesting that our subconscious mind holds the key to, well, pretty much anything and everything we want in life.
Wealth, health, relationships, you name it.
Exactly. But is it really that simple?
Well, that's what we're here to find out.
Right. I mean, can we really program our minds like computers to achieve success?
We'll see.
Can we really banish our fears and bad habits just by thinking differently?
That's the big question. And Dr. Murphy seems to think so.
Well, he definitely lays out a pretty compelling case. So let's start by getting a better understanding of what exactly we're talking about here. When we say subconscious mind, what do we actually mean?
So the way Dr. Murphy describes it, the subconscious mind is like this vast hidden realm beneath the surface of our conscious awareness.
Ah.
He actually compares it to an iceberg.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, where the conscious mind is just the tip, the part we see above the water.
Right.
But the subconscious is the massive part hidden beneath the surface.
Oh, that's a great analogy.
Yeah, and that's where all the real power lies. According to Dr. Murphy, it's this hidden part of our mind that controls pretty much everything, like all of our vital functions, our breathing, our heartbeat,
Right.
our habits, our beliefs, our reactions. It's the driving force behind everything we do.
Okay, so if this subconscious mind is so powerful, why aren't we all living our dream lives? I mean, shouldn't it be working in our favor all the time?
Well, that's the catch, right? See, Dr. Murphy argues that most of us are only using a tiny fraction of our true potential. We're kind of like walking around with this incredible supercomputer in our heads, but we're only using it to check email and browse social media. Oh, I like that. So we've got this amazing power within us, but we just don't know how to use it effectively.
Exactly. And that's where Dr. Murphy's techniques come in. He provides specific methods to program our subconscious mind.
Oh.
It's kind of like planting seeds. Okay.
It's like that.
You plant seeds, thoughts, beliefs, desires, and then you watch them grow into reality.
So how do we actually do that? How do we plant these seeds in our subconscious mind?
Well, one of the key methods that Dr. Murphy talks about is sending messages to the subconscious right before sleep.
So you mean while we're drifting off?
Exactly. It's about strategically targeting those moments when the subconscious mind is most receptive. He recommends writing down your desired outcome as a positive affirmation.
Oh, okay.
So you would actually write down, I am healthy, I am wealthy, I am wise, or whatever your desired outcome is.
Right, okay.
And then you would record yourself reading it.
Ah, so you're listening to it as you're falling asleep. Yes, exactly. And Dr. Murphy emphasizes the importance of cultivating a calm and receptive state of mind. He suggests deep breathing exercises to relax the body and quiet the mental chatter.
Right, because when we're all stressed out, our minds are racing a million miles an hour. It makes sense that a relaxed mind would be more open to suggestion.
Exactly. And it's not just about passively listening to the recording.
Okay.
It's about engaging all of your senses. Visualize what you desire as if it were already happening. Feel the emotions associated with it.
Ah, so it's not just about hearing the words. It's about really feeling it, believing it.
Absolutely. And that's where the power of visualization comes in.
Ah, okay. So let's talk about that. How important is visualization in this whole process?
It's crucial. See, the subconscious mind doesn't operate on logic.
Right.
It responds to emotions and images. It can't distinguish between something you're actually experiencing and something you're vividly imagining.
Really? So you're saying if I can create a strong enough mental picture, my subconscious mind will believe it's real?
Exactly. And the more you practice visualizing, the more you're essentially training your subconscious to manifest that reality.
Okay, I'm starting to get it. But let's be real for a minute. I can visualize winning the lottery all day long, but it hasn't happened yet. So what am I missing? Where's the disconnect?
That's a great question, and it brings us to a crucial point. Action.
Ah, okay.
Visualization is powerful. It's like setting the stage.
Okay.
But it's not a magic bullet. You need to combine mental work with inspired action.
So I can't just sit back and wait for the universe to deliver. I actually have to, do something.
You got it. Think of it like this. Visualization sets the stage, belief provides the energy, and action brings the play to life.
I like that.
And this is where Dr. Murphy's three-step formula for success comes in. It's deceptively simple. Ask, believe, receive.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Let's break that down. What does ask mean in this context?
Asking means clearly defining what you want. It's about getting specific, not just vague desires like, I want to be happy. It's about writing down exactly what you want, visualizing it, feeling the emotions associated with achieving it.
And then believe takes it a step further.
Believe is about cultivating unwavering faith that you will receive what you've asked for. Not just hope, but deep-seated conviction.
That sounds like it takes some serious mental gymnastics. How do you cultivate that level of belief, especially if you're starting from a place of doubt?
Well, that's where those techniques we discussed earlier come in: affirmations, visualizations, and consistently feeding your subconscious mind with positive messages.
Right.
It's about retraining your thought patterns and rewiring your beliefs.
So it's about convincing your subconscious mind that your desires are not just possibilities, but inevitable outcomes. But how do we know when we've reached that level of belief? Is there some kind of, sign?
It's not always about a dramatic revelation. It's often a subtle shift.
Okay.
A feeling of peace, certainty, and inner knowing that what you desire is already yours.
Almost like a sense of trust in the process.
Exactly. And that brings us to the final step: receive.
Okay, so if we've asked clearly, and we truly believe, how do we open ourselves up to receiving? Do we just sit back and wait for the universe to deliver?
Well, not quite. Receiving is about being open to opportunities, taking inspired action, and recognizing the synchronicities that guide you towards your goals.
So it's about trusting that the universe will conspire to bring you what you desire, often in unexpected ways.
You got it.
That's a powerful thought. But doesn't that require a certain level of, surrender? Letting go of control and trusting that things will unfold as they should.
Absolutely. Surrender is an essential part of the process. It's about releasing the need to micromanage every detail and allowing the universe to work its magic.
This is all starting to make sense. We've got the ask, the belief, the receptivity. But what happens when we hit, roadblocks or encounter setbacks? Does that mean we're not believing hard enough?
Not necessarily. Challenges are a natural part of any journey. The key is to see them as opportunities for growth, not as proof that your desires are unattainable. Remember the story of Miracle Man Morris Goodman?
Oh, yeah. The guy who recovered from that horrific plane crash.
That's the one. He used the power of his subconscious mind to heal himself. He faced immense challenges, but his unwavering belief in his recovery ultimately led to his healing.
That's an incredible example of the power of belief in action. So it's not about denying the challenges. It's about choosing how we respond to them.
You said it. It's about reframing setbacks as stepping stones and using them to strengthen your resolve.
Okay, I'm starting to see how this all fits together. We've got the tools to program our subconscious mind, the three-step formula to guide our actions, and the understanding that challenges are inevitable but not insurmountable.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that we have far more control over our reality than we often realize.
This is definitely a lot to process. But I feel like we've only just scratched the surface. Can we delve a little deeper into how this all works in practice? How do we actually use these techniques to achieve specific goals?
I'm happy to dive into the specifics. Let's start by exploring how these principles can be applied to achieving success. What comes to mind when you think about success?
Well, for me, success is about feeling fulfilled, both personally and professionally.
Okay, I like that.
It's about doing work that I love, making a positive impact, and, having the financial freedom to pursue my passions.
That's a great starting point. And Dr. Murphy offers some specific guidance on how to achieve success in all those areas. He emphasizes the importance of finding work that aligns with your true passions.
So it's not just about chasing a paycheck. It's about finding a path that brings you joy and allows you to contribute your unique talents.
Exactly. Dr. Murphy believed that when you're truly passionate about your work, success naturally follows. And he even addresses the issue of attracting wealth, which often feels taboo or even unspiritual to some people.
Yeah, I think a lot of people struggle with that. We're conditioned to believe that money is somehow evil or that desiring wealth is selfish.
Right. But Dr. Murphy challenges that belief directly. He compares money to electricity. It's a neutral force that can be used for good or bad. The key is to align your financial goals with your values and use your resources to make a positive impact.
So it's not about hoarding wealth. It's about using it as a tool to create positive change.
Yeah.
But how do we actually attract wealth into our lives? Is it as simple as just affirming, I am rich?
Well, that's where things get a little more nuanced. Simply repeating those words may not be effective and might even create resistance in your subconscious mind, especially if your current financial reality is far from abundant.
Right, so it's about finding affirmations that resonate with your current situation, but still point towards your desired outcome.
Exactly. Instead of I am rich, try something like I am attracting abundance into my life, or I am open to new opportunities that will bring me financial prosperity.
Right, so it's not about denying your current reality, it's about shifting your focus towards what you want to create.
Precisely. It's about planting the seeds of abundance and allowing them to grow naturally.
That makes a lot of sense. But what about those limiting beliefs that often hold us back? You know, those voices in our heads that say, I'm not good enough. Or,
Yeah.
I'll never be able to achieve that. How do we silence those inner critics?
That's a crucial part of the process.
Sure.
And it requires consistent effort to reprogram those negative thought patterns. It's like weeding a garden. You need to pull out the weeds regularly to allow the flowers to thrive.
Okay, so we've got to be vigilant about those mental weeds.
You got it.
But how do we actually do that?
Well, it starts with awareness.
Okay.
Pay attention to those negative thoughts, those self-sabotaging beliefs. When they arise, challenge them. Ask yourself, is this thought true? Does it serve me? Where is the evidence to support it?
It's like putting those thoughts on trial. Are they guilty of holding us back, or are they just harmless whispers?
Exactly. And once you've identified those negative thoughts, you can start replacing them with positive affirmations.
Right.
Choose affirmations that feel empowering and that align with the reality you want to create.
This is all really starting to click for me. It's like we have the power to choose the thoughts that shape our reality.
You got it. And the more you practice, the easier it becomes. Remember, you're rewiring years of ingrained patterns, so be patient with yourself.
I'm feeling inspired, but also a little overwhelmed. Is there a simple way to start integrating these techniques into my daily life?
Sure. Start small. Choose one area you want to focus on, whether it's attracting wealth, overcoming a fear, or improving a relationship. Identify the limiting beliefs holding you back, and then craft affirmations that counter those beliefs. Repeat those affirmations consistently. Visualize your desired outcome and be open to new possibilities.
That sounds manageable. It's about taking small steps, building momentum, and trusting the process.
Exactly. And remember, you don't have to do this alone. There are countless resources available, books, podcasts, courses, even therapists who can provide guidance and support on your journey.
This deep dive has definitely opened my eyes to the incredible power within me. I'm starting to see that I'm not just a passenger in my life, I'm the driver. But what about the other areas we talked about, like overcoming fears and breaking bad habits? Can these same principles be applied there?
Absolutely. In fact, Dr. Murphy provides some compelling examples of how these techniques can be used to overcome even deeply ingrained fears and negative patterns.
This is all incredibly fascinating. I can't wait to explore those areas further.
We'll definitely dive into those topics when we return for part 2 of our deep dive. Stay tuned, because we've only just begun to unlock the incredible potential of your subconscious mind.
Welcome back, everyone. Man, I'm still thinking about all this stuff about the subconscious mind. It's incredible to think we have this untapped power within us, just waiting to be, harnessed.
It really is a game changer when you start to grasp how this part of your mind works.
Okay, so we've talked about programming our subconscious for success, attracting wealth. But, let's be real for a moment. We all have those pesky fears and bad habits. Those things holding us back, right? Can we really use these same techniques we've been talking about to overcome these challenges?
Absolutely. In fact, Dr. Murphy, he dedicates a significant chunk of his book to the power of the subconscious mind for overcoming fears and breaking free from negative patterns.
Okay, I'm all ears. Let's start with fears. I think most of us have at least one thing that makes our palms sweat, our hearts race. You know what I mean?
Fear, yeah, it's a natural human emotion, but it can be so debilitating when it starts to control our lives. Dr. Murphy argues that a lot of our fears are rooted in subconscious beliefs and past experiences.
So it's not necessarily like the situation itself that's scary, but the meaning we've attached to it.
Exactly. So for example, someone with a fear of public speaking,
Oh, yeah.
they might have this subconscious belief that they're not good enough or that they'll be judged and rejected.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's not really about the audience. It's about our own, like, internal fears and insecurities, right?
Yeah.
But how do we break free from those deep-seated fears? Is it just a matter of telling ourselves, don't be afraid?
I wish. If only it were that simple. Dr. Murphy really emphasizes understanding the root of the fear and then using techniques like visualization and affirmations to reprogram the subconscious mind.
So it's about identifying the negative beliefs driving the fear and then
Right.
replacing them with more empowering ones.
Precisely. And, he actually shares a fascinating story about a young boy who was terrified of water
Oh,
after falling into a swimming pool. And so Dr. Murphy helped him overcome his fear by guiding him through these visualizations of himself swimming confidently, feeling the water on his skin, enjoying the experience.
It's like using the imagination to create a new positive association with the thing that triggers the fear.
Exactly. And the more vividly you can imagine it, the more powerfully it's going to impact your subconscious mind. Remember, the subconscious doesn't distinguish between real and imagined experiences. So if you can create that positive mental picture, it can really start to override those negative associations.
Wow, that's pretty incredible. But what about those more like deep-seated fears, like the fear of failure or the fear of rejection? Those can feel so overwhelming and paralyzing.
Yeah, those fears can be tough, you're right, because they often stem from deeply rooted beliefs about our worthiness. But the same principles apply. It's about identifying those negative beliefs, challenging them, and replacing them with affirmations that affirm your worth, your ability to succeed.
So instead of "I'm afraid of failing," it's "I am capable of achieving my goals."
Exactly. It's about shifting that focus from fear to empowerment. And, it's a process. It's not an overnight transformation. Just be patient with yourself and celebrate those small victories along the way.
This is giving me so much hope. But what about those bad habits, those ones that just seem impossible to break, things like procrastination, overeating, even like negative self-talk? Is the subconscious mind involved there too?
Absolutely. Dr. Murphy explains that habits, both good and bad, are essentially ingrained patterns in the subconscious mind.
Okay.
He actually describes it as a cue, routine, reward cycle.
A cue, routine, reward cycle. Okay, let's unpack that. What's the cue in this cycle?
The cue, it's the trigger that sets the habit in motion. It could be a specific time of day, a certain emotion,
Right.
a particular environment, even a thought.
So for someone who, say, struggles with overeating, the cue might be like feeling stressed or bored.
Yeah, exactly. And that cue then triggers the routine, which is the habitual behavior itself. In that case, it would be reaching for food.
And the reward, I'm guessing, is that temporary relief or pleasure that comes from engaging in the habit.
Right. And that reward, even if it's ultimately harmful, it reinforces that habit loop in the subconscious mind. So to break a bad habit, you need to kind of interrupt the cycle.
That sounds pretty daunting. How do we even begin to unravel those deeply ingrained patterns?
Well, it's not about trying to eliminate the cue altogether, because often that's just not possible. Instead, it's about recognizing the cue and then consciously choosing a different routine.
So if the cue is feeling stressed, instead of reaching for food, you could go for a walk or practice deep breathing.
Exactly. And this is where the power of that subconscious mind really comes in. You can use affirmations, visualizations to reprogram your response to the cue.
So if the cue is stress, you could affirm, "I am calm and in control," and visualize yourself handling this situation with ease.
Precisely. And the more you practice this new routine, the more it's going to become ingrained in that subconscious mind, eventually replacing that old unhealthy habit.
So it sounds like breaking bad habits is all about retraining the subconscious mind. But is there, like, any scientific evidence to support this idea?
Yeah. There's actually a growing body of research in neuroscience that supports this idea that we can rewire our brains by consciously changing our thoughts and behaviors. Remember the story of that 16-year-old boy named Todd who was struggling academically?
Yeah, I remember that story. It was pretty remarkable how he turned things around.
Yeah. He had this belief that he was stupid, was on the verge of dropping out of school. But Dr. Murphy helped him develop these affirmations that challenged his negative beliefs and affirmed his intelligence and ability to learn. The boy started repeating those affirmations consistently. Remarkably, his grades started improving dramatically.
That's amazing. It just shows how even those deeply ingrained beliefs about ourselves can be shifted with the right techniques.
Yeah.
But what about those moments of, like, doubt or discouragement?
Yeah.
They inevitably creep in, right? How do we stay motivated when we're facing those challenges?
Yeah, that's a good point. It's important to remember that Setbacks, they're a natural part of any transformation.
Right.
Don't see them as failures, see them as opportunities for growth and learning.
So it's about having compassion for ourselves, recognizing that change takes time and effort.
Exactly. And when those doubts arise, just remind yourself of your goals. Reconnect with your affirmations. Visualize yourself succeeding. It's like tending to a garden.
Yeah.
You got to consistently water, nurture those plants to help them thrive.
I love that analogy. This is all so inspiring. It's empowering to know that we actually have the ability to reprogram our subconscious minds and break free from those self-limiting patterns. But what about using this power for something like even bigger? Can we use it to create, I don't know, a more positive impact on the world around us?
Yeah, that's a great question. And it brings us back to Dr. Murphy's emphasis on contributing to humanity. He believed that true success isn't just about personal gain. It's about using your talents and resources to make the world a better place.
So are you saying we can actually program our subconscious minds to be more compassionate, more generous, more driven to actually make a difference?
Absolutely. We can choose affirmations and visualizations that focus on making that positive impact on our communities, the environment, on global issues that matter to us.
If you're passionate about environmental conservation, you could visualize yourself taking action to protect the planet, feeling that satisfaction of making a difference.
Exactly. And again, the subconscious mind doesn't distinguish between those real and imagined experiences. So as you visualize yourself making that positive impact, you're actually sending powerful energy out into the world, contributing to that collective consciousness.
That's amazing. That's incredibly inspiring. It means we have the power to not only transform our own lives, but to contribute to a more, positive and harmonious world.
It's about recognizing that we're all interconnected. Our thoughts, our beliefs, and our actions. They have this ripple effect that extends far beyond ourselves.
Whoa, this is all so mind-blowing. I feel like we've covered so much ground. But I'm sure there's still more to uncover.
There's always more to explore. But before we move on, let's just take a moment to reflect on what we've learned so far. What are some key takeaways that are really resonating with you?
For me, it's this realization that we're not actually limited by our circumstances. We have the power to create the reality we desire by harnessing this incredible force of our subconscious minds.
Yeah, that's a powerful insight. And it's not about, denying those challenges we face. It's about choosing how we respond to them, using those experiences as fuel for growth.
Right. It's about taking responsibility for our thoughts, beliefs, and actions.
Yeah.
And recognizing that we have this power to shape our own destinies. But what about using this power for personal growth and transformation? Can we actually reprogram ourselves to become, better versions of ourselves?
That's a great question. And we will discuss this and more when we return for part 3 of our deep dive. Stay tuned, listeners. There's so much more to come.
Welcome back to our deep dive into the world of the subconscious mind. It's pretty amazing, right?
It is.
I mean, we've been talking about how to kind of harness this hidden power to, achieve goals,
right?
Overcome fears, break those bad habits. It's a lot.
It is. It's powerful stuff.
But it's not just about, external achievements, is it?
Yeah, not at all.
It's about inner transformation.
Exactly.
Becoming, the best versions of ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I want to explore that a little bit more. And, we touched on this idea of using the subconscious mind for personal growth.
Right.
Can we actually, reprogram ourselves to cultivate specific qualities, the ones we admire?
Absolutely. Dr. Murphy really emphasizes this idea that the subconscious mind, it's a limitless reservoir of potential.
Wow.
And you can tap into that to cultivate any quality you want.
Really?
Whether it's confidence, compassion, creativity, even spiritual awareness.
That's incredible.
It is.
So, we have this power to actually sculpt our own character, shaping ourselves from the inside out.
Exactly.
But where do we even begin? How do we, choose which qualities to work on?
Well, it starts with self-reflection.
Okay.
What values are most important to you?
Right.
What qualities do you admire in other people? What aspects of yourself would you like to, develop further?
So it's identifying those core values and aspirations.
Yeah.
And then using those as guideposts for our subconscious programming.
Precisely. Once you have that clear vision of, the qualities you want to embody, you can start crafting those affirmations.
Okay.
The visualizations that support those aspirations.
So, for example, if I want to cultivate more confidence,
Yeah.
I could visualize myself, speaking up in a meeting, feeling calm, assured.
Right.
Expressing my ideas clearly.
Exactly. And a repeat affirmations like, I am confident and capable, or I trust in my ability to succeed.
And as we practice these techniques, those qualities, they'll become more deeply ingrained, eventually manifesting in our external reality.
That's the idea. It's about aligning your inner world with that outer world that you want to create.
So powerful. This is so empowering. It means we're not stuck with our current limitations.
No, not at all.
We have the power to evolve, to grow, to become the people we truly want to be.
You got it. That's the beauty of the subconscious mind.
It's amazing.
It's a limitless field of possibility. And as you learn to harness this power, you open yourself up to a world of personal growth and transformation.
It's incredible to think that we've had this power within us all along, just waiting to be, unlocked.
That's right.
So before we wrap up, one final question. If our subconscious minds are always at work, even when we're not consciously aware of it,
Right.
what message should we leave it with tonight?
That's a great question. I think the most powerful message we can give our subconscious minds is one of love,
Okay.
acceptance, and gratitude.
Love, acceptance, and gratitude.
As we drift off to sleep, let's affirm, I am loved, I am worthy, I am grateful for all the blessings in my life.
That's beautiful. That's a perfect note to end on. It's a reminder that we're not just these, powerful creators, but we're also deeply loved and supported.
Yes.
Thank you for guiding us on this incredible journey.
It's been my pleasure.
And to our listeners, we encourage you to continue exploring the power of your subconscious mind. It's a lifelong adventure,
It is.
filled with endless possibilities. Keep diving deep and keep believing in the magic within you.